Season 1 of The Sandman introduces the Dreaming, an alternate world that humans visit upon sleeping, containing dreams and nightmares alike. The ruler of this world is Lord Morpheus, also known as Dream, who controls all of the fantasies lived out inside the Dreaming. Unfortunately, one of Morpheus' created nightmares known as the Corinthian manages to escape the Dreaming to torment the real world, and so Morpheus is forced to venture out of his realm to hunt the Corinthian down. In 1916, the elderly Roderick Burgess is grieving the loss of his son Randall, who died fighting in World War I. Roderick takes on the identity of the Magus as he begins studying dark magic in the hopes of striking a deal with the Angel of Death to bring back his son. Instead, he accidentally summons Death's brother, Dream. The Corinthian helps Roderick permanently imprison Morpheus, allowing the nightmare to terrorize the waking world, while the Magus demands Dream grant him all of his heart's desires in exchange for his freedom. Morpheus refuses to cooperate and spends over a century in captivity, throwing the Dreaming into turmoil and leading to horrible ramifications in the real world, including some sleepers never waking up. Over the years, Roderick accidentally impregnates a woman named Ethel, and when he demands she get an abortion, the woman instead flees with all of Morpheus's magical totems. As Roderick's other son Alex grows frustrated by his father's actions, he accidentally kills him in a confrontation. In the present day, Morpheus is still confined by the elderly Alex, but when the magical seal imprisoning him is carelessly broken, the god of sleep manages to escape his binds, curse Alex to eternal sleep, and finally return to the Dreaming. There he discovers from his assistant Lucienne that all of his created dreams and nightmares have escaped to the real world, and his kingdom is collapsing. And so, Morpheus ventures back to Earth to recover all of the escaped nightmares, in the hopes of restoring the Dreaming to its former glory. In the intervening years, Ethel has sold off Dream's tools to acquire massive wealth for herself, and an amulet of protection that ensures her immortality. The Corinthian warns her that now that Morpheus has escaped his binds, he will soon come looking for his possessions. Morpheus sacrifices the gargoyle pet of his loyal lackeys Cain and Abel to the powerful fates in order to learn the location of his powerful belongings: a pouch of sand, his godly helm, and a dreamstone ruby. As Morpheus sets off to collect the items, he gives Cain and Abel a new gargoyle named Goldie. As he ventures to Earth, Morpheus is accompanied by a raven named Matthew, whom Lucienne has sent to watch over him. To retrieve his pouch of sand, Morpheus seeks out the exorcist Johanna Constantine. Constantine is grieving the young astrologue, who was pulled to hell by demons, severing her arm in the process. Constantine agrees to return the pouch to Dream in exchange for him ridding her of her nightmares of Astra. Morpheus and Matthew then head to the depths of hell to track down the demon now in possession of his helm. To win back the magical totem, Morpheus agrees to face off in a trial by combat, though representing the demon in a battle of wits is none other than Lucifer herself. After besting Lucifer and obtaining the helm, Morpheus and Matthew return to Earth in search of the ruby. The ruby is now in the possession of Ethel's adult son John, who stole it from his mother. Fearing Morpheus's wrath, Ethel gives her son her amulet of protection, sacrificing herself in the process. John uses the ruby's power to create a world built solely on honesty, in stark contrast to the lies his mother Ethel told him about his father and upbringing. But a world without lies quickly devolves humanity into chaos. Morpheus arrives to reclaim the ruby, leading to a magical battle against John. Ultimately, John accidentally shatters the ruby, allowing Morpheus to absorb its power and have the defeated John institutionalized. With his tools fully reacquired, Morpheus is now ready to continue his mission of returning the escaped dreams and nightmares to the Dreaming. But before he does, he is visited by his sister Death, who teaches him a very important lesson about humanity and the gods' role in their existence. While Dream feels responsible for protecting humanity as a whole, Death teaches him to care for the individuals who each have their own story. A god's role is not to rule humanity, Death teaches, but to serve it. It's a lesson that Morpheus takes to heart, even befriending an immortal human named Hob in the process. Ultimately, Morpheus learns from Lucienne that only 3 escaped dreams and nightmares are left wandering the earth: Galt, Fiddler's Green, and the Corinthian. Meanwhile, Morpheus's former wife Calliope is a powerful muse who has been imprisoned by the struggling author Richard Madoc. Madoc discovers that by assaulting Calliope, he obtains inspiration that helps his writing. While being kept as Madoc's prisoner, Calliope calls out to her former husband Morpheus for his help. Morpheus arrives to save Calliope, cursing Madoc to forget all about him and the Muse, as well as all of his literary ideas. Calliope thanks her former lover for rescuing her and asks to visit him in the Dreaming where they can properly grieve their deceased son Orpheus. But Morpheus is not yet ready to face this heartbreak, bidding Calliope farewell once more. Elsewhere, the young woman Rose works alongside her friend Lyta to find and reunite with her estranged younger brother Jed. Unbeknownst to Rose, she is actually a dream vortex, a human with the powers to manipulate dreams who, if left unchecked, could destroy both Earth and the Dreaming. Instead of fearing Rose's power, Morpheus attempts to help her on her mission to find Jed, who strangely even the god of dreams himself is unable to locate. While helping Rose and Morpheus search for Jed, Lyta becomes consumed by her own dreams, where she's reunited with her late husband Hector. Strangely, Hector's life continues even when Lyta is awake, and he encourages his wife to permanently stay with him in the dream world, where they can have everything they've ever wanted, including a baby. This strangely manifests in Lyta becoming pregnant in the real world. As the walls between the Dreaming and Earth begin to blur, Morpheus realizes that Hector is a ghost, whose presence threatens to destroy both worlds. And so, despite Rose and Lyta's pleas, Morpheus is forced to banish Hector to the afterlife where he belongs, though Lyta is allowed to keep their baby. As Morpheus mentors Rose in her newfound powers, the pair discovers that Jed has been severed from the Dreaming by the escaped nightmare Galt, who is serving as Jed's protector from his abusive foster parents. Morpheus sends Galt back to the Dreaming, transforming her from a nightmare to a dream in the process, while Rose races to reunite with her brother. Unfortunately, before Rose can reach Jed, the Corinthian finds him first. The Corinthian uses Jed as bait to lure the powerful Rose to him, and he waits for her at a serial killer convention, filled with acolytes who worship his nightmarish sadism. On her mission, Rose is accompanied by a kindly stranger named Gilbert, who upon seeing the Corinthian flees to the Dreaming, revealing himself to be Fiddler's Green and warning Morpheus of the danger Rose is in. As Rose finally reunites with Jed, they are both captured by the villainous Corinthian. The Corinthian tries to turn Rose's power to his side, warning her that Morpheus will never allow someone as dangerous as her to live. The Corinthian proclaims his desire to serve as her protector, and plots to kill Morpheus, install Rose as the ruler of the Dreaming, and allow himself to roam the earth freely. Morpheus arrives and confronts the Corinthian, ultimately convincing Rose of the dangers her powers could be to the waking world. And so Rose restores the barriers between the worlds, and Morpheus defeats the Corinthian once and for all. As the season comes to a close, Morpheus is forced to confront Rose in the Dreaming, where a vortex has formed that threatens to destroy the Earth. Ultimately, Rose chooses to sacrifice herself to save humanity, but is stopped by her great-grandmother, Unity. It turns out Unity was one of the humans trapped in an eternal sleep during Morpheus' imprisonment by Roderick Burgess. Dream's evil sibling Desire then impregnated Unity, leading to her having a child, then grandchild, and eventually great-grandchild, the Dream Vortex Rose. This was all a part of a plot to manipulate Dream into killing his own family, which would allow the conspiring twin gods Desire and Despair to retaliate in kind. Thankfully, Morpheus had convinced Rose to make the selfless decision for herself, thwarting Desire's scheme. Unity asks Rose to pass her vortex powers into her, after which Unity sacrifices herself, saving the world and allowing Rose to live a happy life in peace with Jed. In the end, Dream confronts Desire and Despair, threatening them to stay in line and imparting the same wisdom Death had instilled in him, that gods are meant to serve humanity. Morpheus then finally returns to the Dreaming, returning to his job of creating dreams and nightmares, more emboldened than ever by his new sense of purpose. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to Morpheus, Lucifer begins plotting with the Lords of Hell to overthrow the gods and claim control over all of their realms.